सुवासना देवी पायरा।
জয়গুরু। মণিমা মণিমা দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই, দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই। মণিমা মণিমা দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই। উজিবি পয়র স্থির লোটাই, উজিবি পয়র স্থির লোটাই। মণিমা মণিমা দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই, দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই। সংসার জীবন আনিছি সাউতি, সংসার জীবন আনিছি সাউতি। সুখর ফুলটি দুঃখর ফুলটি, সুখর ফুলটি দুঃখর ফুলটি। অঞ্জলি ভরি কমল চরণে, অঞ্জলি ভরি কমল চরণে। ভেটিবি মনর আশা মেণ্টাই, ভেটিবি মনর আশা মেণ্টাই। মণিমা মণিমা দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই, দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই। সকল মুখরে তুমে পদ্ম মুখ, সকল মুখরে তুমে পদ্ম মুখ। সকল দুঃখরে তুমে কা সুখ, সকল দুঃখরে তুমে কা সুখ। পদ্ম যুগ পূজি তুম নাম ভজি, পদ্ম যুগ পূজি তুম নাম ভজি। সারাটি জীবন দেবী বিতাই, সারাটি জীবন দেবী বিতাই। মণিমা মণিমা দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই, দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই। বেসুর বীণারে সুর দেব তুমে, বেসুর বীণারে সুর দেব তুমে। গাইবি গীত মুক্ত শুভ নামে, গাইবি গীত মুক্ত শুভ নামে। আস প্রেমময় কল্যাণ বরসি, আস প্রেমময় কল্যাণ বরসি। মৌড়া মরমে হস ফুটাই, মৌড়া মরমে হস ফুটাই। মণিমা মণিমা দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই, দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই। পুজিবি পয়র স্থির লোটাই, পুজিবি পয়র স্থির লোটাই। মণিমা মণিমা দেউল দুয়ার পিয়া পিতাই, দেউল दुआर दिय फिटाई मणिमा मणिमा देऊळ दुआर दिय फिटाई आस आस उछुरान करी आस हे आस 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 उछुरान करी आस रे आस आस प्रेम सरोवरे आनंद मनरे प्रेम सरोवरे आनंद मनरे दिय प्रेम जड़े झासरे आस आस दिय प्रेम जड़े झासरे आस 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 उछुरान करी आस रे आस आस संगरे घेनी बंधु सदर संगरे घेनी बंधु सदर जे जही अछरे भकत पितार जे जही अछरे भकत पितार ज्ञान गंता घर खोला अछि तार ज्ञान गंता घर खोला अछि तार लुटिबा पुराई आसरे लुटिबा पुराई आसरे आस 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 उछुरान करी आसरे आस आस सीता मरत पतित पावन सीता मरत पतित पावन अधम जनर से कारण अधम जनर से कारण पापर पंकरे बुड़ी किं पाई रे पापर पंकरे बुड़ी किं पाई रे तनुरे काली माले सरे तनुरे काली माले सरे आस 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 उछुरान करी आस रे आस आस आमे तोरे पितर संतान आमे तोरे पितर संतान एक घरे बास एक मन एक घरे बास एक मन भूली भेदा भेदा भूली जेते बाद भूली भेदा भेदा भूली जेते बाद पितार शरण पसरे पितार शरण पसरे मोचन पूजवर गुणहीन शेष गुणा प्रभु लभिले तुम्हारा दर्शन पद स्पर्श तब श्रीहरण खेले पद स्पर्श तब श्रीहरण खेले पुलकी उठुछि देह मन पुलकी उठुछि देह मन केउ जनमारा पुण्य फल प्रभु लभिली तुम्हारा दर्शन केउ जनमारा पुण्य फल प्रभु लभिली तुम्हारा दर्शन वंदन मोहरा घेन जगदीश चंदन गुरु सुमन विशेष वंदन मोहरा घेन जगदीश चंदन गुरु सुमन विशेष निशेष करी अंतर कामना निशेष करी अंतर कामना और पूछि तुम पदे घृणा और पूछि तुम पदे घृणा केउ जनमारा पुण्य फल प्रभु लभिली तुम्हारा दर्शन केउ जनमारा पुण्य फल प्रभु लभिली तुम्हारा दर्शन बेपथु कंपनी कंपे काले पारा नयनु लताका बहे झर झरा बेपथु कंपनी कंपे काले बारा नयनु लताका बहे झर झरा शिथिल शरीर रोमांचित जी शिथिल शरीर रोमांचित जी वंचित परस लाभे मन वंचित परस लाभे मन केउ जनमारा पुण्य फल प्रभु लभिली तुम्हारा दर्शन केउ छड़ीबी सेवा धर्म केबे न छड़ीबी सेवा धर्म केउ जन्मरा पुण्य फले प्रभु लभिले तुम्हारा दर्शन केउ जन्मरा पुण्य फले प्रभु लभिले तुम्हारा दर्शन एतिकी करुण करतु पानिथि पार करिदिय ए भवबारिधि एतिकी करुण करतु पानिथि पार करिदिय ए भवबारिधि घाट मूल पानी गंठिली बांधिथि घाट मूल पानी गंठिली बांधिथि गुरु नाम सुधा कंठी धन गुरु नाम सुधा कंठी धन केउ जन्मरा पुण्य फले प्रभु लभिली तुम्हारा दर्शन पद श्रीहरण खेले पद श्रीहरण खेले पुलकी उठोछि देह मन पुलकी उठोछि देह मन केउ जन्मरा पुण्य फले प्रभु लभिले तुम्हारा दर्शन प्रभु लभिले तुम्हारा दर्शन लभिले तुम्हारा दर्शन जय
जय गुरु सद्गुरु Sri Nigamananda Upadeshamrita. Educated religious gurus. A famous poet of Bengal has written in his book Pravase Patra, a letter from abroad, that the Hindus worship the ugly lingam, etc. One has to be stupefied and amazed at such acute knowledge, fathomless scholarship, peculiar belief of so-called eminent and venerable person of the Hindu society. What more degradation can be expected of such an educated person? Those are the people who pose themselves as the leaders of the Hindu society and roam around imparting uncalled for religious teachings. Those who don't know the different connotations of the word linga are eager to become religious masters. Such an attempt on the part signifies nothing but the superfluous ego and impudence. Even the tribals like Kulhas, Bhil, and Sandals have a better knowledge of their own religion than these people. The uneducated people become the laughing stock of the society because of their unauthorized and undesirable discussion. It is amazing that even the educated people bear the bride of pseudo knowledge of the ignorant. It can be easily imagined what development of one's own nation and religion can be accomplished by such class of people. But the Hindu society is now apparently lifeless. It is actively enduring such religious treatment of these people devoid of action and conscience. ভাই আগে পড়াশোনা হয়েছে রাখিবে
মাসি তখন তো
Joy Guru, Nirasar Saraswata Sangha Puri, Branch America Saraswata Sangha, 733rd Sangha Puja Session Report. Date and time, September 6, 2027, 15 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Parya, Nasik, Kasmitama and Signama. Adhivas Puja, September 5, 2020. Adhivas Puja was held at Nigam Mandira at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Attendance is available in the link section of the Ramsar's website. First session, September 6, 2020, 7:15 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. The morning session of the puja started at 7:15 a.m. with Pratiksha. During Pratiksha, Amritama and Rasmi Chaudhary sang Koilishore and Mana Vrindavane conjugately. During that time, all devotees joined the puja either at Nigam Smruti Mandira or via teleconference. Sanjit Bhai performed the arati, then Smita Baima sang the Vandana, Vandai Gurucharana and Sutta Vandana, and Janabhai read the Paribrajakacharya, followed by special Prasthana for coronavirus, as well as Samirandi and Asana Mandira Nitya Puja Prasthana. Then Sunyama read Sangha Sevaka, 18th year past for Vandana, Prasthana and Prasthana Karinga. After the reading of Sangha Sevaka, Janabhai read Sri Guru Gita Shloka 5. Then Sintabhai invited Sri Thakur Maharaj for Balya Bhoga and Thakur Maharaj Bhai's Mass and young aspirants to attend the second session. The first session concluded with Joypur Namakirtan. After the first session, Balya Bhoga was offered to Sri Thakur and Bhai's Mass and young aspirants accepted prasad. Second session, September 6, 2029, 45 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. The second session of the puja started at 9:45 a.m. with Supanyama and Arpitama singing Abahan. Aji mo kahuchi magibi nahi mutakiti sequentially. This was followed by Pranam Dhyana and opening of the asana. Then Niluma sang the Vandana Mage Mage Bhava Manava. Then Vanalsama read the Paribrajakacharya and Vinama sang Vishwapati Pranam. After that, Rasmi Pandama read the Nigam Upadesh page 16, which was about power of Guru. After that, Sonali Ma read the minute of the last Sangha Puja. Mitama and Sanghamitrama read Ithi to Mass. Then Pujama sang the Saraswata Sangha, Noina Tumaku Parinahi Deki, followed by Sansar Pathe, read by Palavima. Then Janabhai continued reading the morning Sangha book as there was no question from doctors to ask. Then Aditi sang the Prasthana Sangita, Chotto Pulatiye Parahe Thakura. Then Vedamati Ma led the discussion in the young aspirant session and took the attendance of young aspirants and discussed the story of Vimulama and asking questions to the young aspirants. Then Narsik, Prasintama and Sindhama did their Bhavavinimay Seva. Sindhama invited Sri Thakur for Madhyana Bhoga and evening puja. Then Pratyush and Rasmi Chaudhary invited Sri Thakur to Sangha Puja to be held on September 13, 2020. After that, Kundam Bhai and Sukrit Bhai invited Sri Thakur and their hostess for their Bhasan Puja on 7 September and 12 September respectively. After that, Asmitama prayed for forgiveness for any mistakes from Sri Thakur, all Bhais, Mass and young aspirants. The session concluded with Vidya Prasthana, Dayamay Sricharan sang by Sivani Sima, and the asana was closed with Joypur Namakirtan and Prasthana. Prajapati briefly discussed and urged members to fill the dinnerlevy on a regular basis. Janabhai took the attendance of all Bhais and Mass present of Puja. Then Madhyana Bhoga was offered to Sri Thakur, followed by Prasad Sevana. श्री ठाकुर चरण शीतल नैतिक सस्मिता माँ आरती धाम जय गुरु।
Jai Guru Maharaj Pradhuji, Premika Guru, page 161. The realization of Sahaja Prema Rasa with Sahaja Bhava by a Sahaja Bhakta in Siddha state, the state of perfection, is termed Sahaja Sadhana. That is why Sringa Sadhana of Nayaka and Nayika, male and female sadhaka, is called Sahaja Bhajan. Moreover, sadhana congenial to one's own bhava can be treated Sahaja Sadhana. Suppose one is fond of bhoga, enjoyment, and if he is suddenly advised to follow the path of yoga, it will be incompatible to his nature. But if he is promoted to yoga through the path of bhoga, it will be compatible to his nature and it's called Sahaja, easy. Sri Krishna is a human being, so also natural men and women are human beings. But Sri Krishna is not deformed human being like natural men and women who are hued and deformed by gunas of Maya. Sri Krishna is ever pure and eternal. He is as such a perfect human being who is worshipped by the people. So, he is called a Sahaja Manusya. Sri Krishna, the Adi Purusha, original entity, is Sahaja Manusya. His eternal companions, Gopa Gopis, are also Sahaja Manusya. In human adobe Nritya Vrindavan, Sri Krishna, the Sahaja Manusya, is enacting eternal human Leela, being indebted to Gopis, the Sahaja Manusya of Gopa, through Sahaja Prema. So, Chandidas has written, man dwells in Golaka, nothing is beyond that paradigm. Love and treat him as a man, you will realize him. In this Manusyadham, adobe of man, no one save man has any right to enact human lila. Only those who follow a man and ever adhere to human behavior acquire eligibility to enact human lila as human being. Sri Krishna, the Sahaja Manusya, offers the mantra of man in human form, teaches human behavior in the form of a man, and again steals the mind and heart of all as a human being. Thus, human being attains Sahaja Bhava of Sahaja Manusya and performs the bhajana of Sahaja Manusya, being established in self. Such direct bhajan and worship of Sahaja Manusya with Sahaja Bhava is called Sahaja Bhajan. In Nitya Vrindavan, Dasa, servants, Sakha, companions, Guru, parents, etc., and Kanta, spouse, are four types of people. These four types of people are eternally perfect sevakas of Sri Krishna, the Sahaja Manusya. The aforesaid four types of sadhakas, having four sorts of bhavas for Bhagavan, God, are also present in this world. These four types of direct worship of above four types of sadhakas is as such called Sahaja Bhajan. But Rasika Bhaktas are Antaranga, inner sadhakas of Madhura Rasa. So they have described the direct worship of Madhura Rasa as Sahaja Bhajan. Chandidasa's Ishtadevi Visalakshi instructed him to forsake japa, tapa and follow the supreme path of Sahaja Bhajana. Vasuli, the Ishtadevi, came and exhorted Chandidas, perform Sahaja Bhajan, nothing is beyond this. Forsake japa, tapa and concentrate attention to the core, listen to me and do with Ved 64. Hence, sadhana characterized by Sringar Rasa of a man and woman is also called Sahaja Bhajan. The worldly men and women are also called Sahaja Manusya like Gopis. They, like Gopis, also partake of identity and difference with Sri Krishna, the Sahaja Manusya. Only because of the sheath of Maya, they are not able to realize their own self as well as their identity and path and difference with the self of Krishna. But the ultimate stage of Sringara When Sri Krishna, the Sahaja Manusya, manifested like flashes of lightning in Sudhar Kamala of men and women involved in Ramana, the act of union, Avidya Maya enveloping the self vanishes like the disappearance of darkness at the sunrise. So at the time they attend for a moment their own self connected separately and inseparably with Sri Krishna. On relinquishing the realization of Tattva Swamaham, you are me, with the sense of the inseparable, they realize the self of Krishna in the form of supreme bliss with the sense of the separable. Just as natural men and women in the ultimate stage of Sringara associated with Kama become Sahaja Manusya for a moment, on realizing Sri Krishna, the Sahaja Manusya in Sridhara Kamala, the lotus within the heart, similarly in the ultimate stage of Sringara associated with love of a devotee, becomes Sahaja Manusya himself on captivating Sri Krishna eternally in Sridhara Kamala. Therefore, Rasika, Nayaka and Naika, male and female sadhakas infatuated with love used to Sahaja Bhajana, being seated firmly in the throne of Bhava, incarnate Sri Krishna, the Sahaja Manusya in Hridaya Kamala. A Rasika Bhakta sings, he who has accomplished perfection in Rasarati, the world is bound to obey his sweet quality. The inexplicable joy which Nayaka and Nayika attain during sadhana is the ultimate stage of Sringara associated with love, is crores of times more than the natural men and women obtain for a moment in the ultimate stage of Sringara associated with Kama at the time of ejaculation of semen. Sri Krishna, the Sahaja Manusya, is only indebted to the love of gopis. He is only captivated in the heart of gopis by the chain of love. So men and women practicing Sahaja Bhajana can captivate Sri Krishna, the Sahaja Manusya, with fetters of love only after acquiring the stage of gopis through Sahaja Bhajana and reach Nitya Vrindavan on becoming Sahaja Manusya. It is true that in Sringara Sadhana, the Sadhanaka couple can easily accomplish self-protection in Bindu Sadhana, control over semen, but they do not attain Gopi Bhava in spite of self-protection in Sringara Sadhana. Their intent is sanctified on gradual removal of impurity through Kirtan of God's glory. They remain attached to each other and get pleasure of pure devotional company of each other. Hence, they naturally develop disgust for sensual pleasure in inimical devotion. In this way, Nayaka and Nayika get rid of the forces opposed to bhakti by performing sadhana bhakti associated with Sringar Rasa and are capable to protect dhatu semen on the performing seva on Sringar Rasa. As a result of protection from inimical forces, their natural sensual impulse is controlled and stability of mind is accomplished. In that state, there is no fear of antakarana being devoted to anything else except the loving companion. Hence, on accomplishing anartha nivriti, protection from evil forces, the loving couple ultimately attain sincere devotion at the feet of each other. In this way, the sincere Nayaka and Nayika treat each other as the epitome of exuberant love, beauty, and believe themselves to be the supreme lord for each other. Then they always long for inseparable company of each other and intend to visualize each other. Therefore, their increasing sincerity gradually gives rise to ruchi, deep liking in their heart. In the advent of ruchi, they exhibit virtues and vices in each other and only desire for each other's joyful company. The strong desire for happy union is the root of asakti, attachment. It is invariably noticed that asakti emerges from loving contact. That is why a devotee couple adherent to ruchi on the path of Raganuraga Bhakti gradually acquire deep attachment for each other out of such coveted contact. With rising attachment, they feel each other as peerless, pleasant entity. They consider the vices of the beloved as virtues. In this stage, they forget all sorts of limitations of caste, creed, religion, fame, patience, and love each other. They sing each other's virtues and glories. One forsakes his own pleasure for the happiness of the beloved. In course of time, pretty love is generated such intensely attached Nayaka and Nayika. It is called Samartha Rati. The characteristics of gopis, the Nayaka and Nayika in whom Rati blossoms forth, treat each other as the embodiment of joy. They merge in the ocean of joy by remembering and meditating on each other. In this stage, the happiness of one's body and indriyas become united with the happiness of body and indriyas of the other. However, both are constantly engaged in making each other happy. Thereby, one experiences joy crores of times more than the beloved. Such preeti gradually flourishes through prema vilas, a divine play of love to be ultimately established in the self of prema, deep love. May it Jai.
Jai Guru. We are going through Sangha Sadhana Purja. Last thorough kichta padhaitla, I did not, was not available. I did not attend Sangha Puja, so apologize. So I don't know where the discussion went. Dita tinta jinso I want to basically talk about. Kotauji, ଆମେ ପଢିଛେ ଭେରି ଅର୍ଲି ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ ପ୍ରେମିକ ଗୁରୁ ପଢିବାର ତାର ଗ୍ରନ୍ଥାକାରଙ୍କ ବକ୍ତବ୍ୟରେ ଠାକୁର ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି ସେ ଲେଖିବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିଥିଲେ ତାପରେ ଗୋଟିଏ ବିଜ୍ଞାପନ ତାଙ୍କର ହସ୍ତଗତ ହେଲା ସେ ବିଜ୍ଞାପନଟିରେ ଥିଲା ଯେ ବୈଷ୍ଣବମାନେ ଅନାଚାର ବ୍ୟଭିଚାର କରିକି ଜୀବନ ଯାପନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଏଗୁଡ଼ାକ କୌଣସି ସାଧନା ନୁହେଁ ମଦ ପିଇବା ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ସଙ୍ଗ କରିବା ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ତାକୁ ସେ ପ୍ରୋଟେଷ୍ଟ କରିକି ଠାକୁର ଲେଖିଥିଲେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ସ୍ୱୟଂ ମହାଦେବ ଆସିକି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ କହିଥିଲେ ଯେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରୋଟେଷ୍ଟ କରିକି ଲେଖ ବୋଲି କହିବା କଥା ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ବିଟୱିନ୍ ଜ୍ଞାନ ମାର୍ଗ ସାଧନା ଆଣ୍ଡ ଭକ୍ତି ମାର୍ଗ ସାଧନା ବହୁତ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ତ ଅଛି ଆପଣମାନେ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ଗୋଟେ ଦୁଇଟା ଜିନିଷ ଗୋଟେ ସାଇଡକୁ ତାର ଫୋକସଟା କରୁଛି ସେ ଫୋକସଟା ହେଲା ଜ୍ଞାନ ମାର୍ଗରେ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ଅଧିକାର ନଥାଏ ଅଧିକାର ହେଲା ଆପଣ ଯଦି କାଲି ରାତିରେ ଆମେ ପଢୁଥିଲେ ଜ୍ଞାନ ମାର୍ଗର ସାଧନା କଥା ସେ ନିତ୍ୟାନ୍ତ ବସ୍ତୁ ବିବେକ ବିଚାର ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ସେ ଚାରୋଟି ଜିନିଷ ନ କଲେ ଜ୍ଞାନ ମାର୍ଗ ସାଧନା ହୁଏନି ତା ପାଇଁ ଫେରେ ଏଲିଜିବିଲିଟି ଅଛି କେବଳ ସେଇ ଯେ ସାଧନ ଚତୁଷ୍ଟୟ ସମ୍ପନ୍ନ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିମାନଙ୍କ ହିଁ ଥାଏ ଅଧିକାର ଏଲିଜିବିଲିଟି ସାଧନ ଚତୁଷ୍ଟୟ ସମ୍ପନ୍ନ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିଙ୍କର ଅଧିକାର ଥାଏ ଜ୍ଞାନ ମାର୍ଗରେ ଚର୍ଚ୍ଚା କରିବା ନହେଲେ ଆଉ ବାକି କଲେ ସବୁ ସେଟା ନିଷିଦ୍ଧ ସେ ଆମର ଅଛି ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରରେ ବ୍ରାହ୍ମଣ ତେର ଜାତିଙ୍କର ବେଦ ପଠନ ନିଷିଦ୍ଧ କାହିଁକିନା ତାଙ୍କର ଅଧିକାର ନାହିଁ କାହିଁକି ନା ସେଇ ଷ୍ଟେଜରେ ନ ପହଞ୍ଚିଲେ ଏଗୁଡ଼ା ପଢ଼ିହେବ କିନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରେମ ମାର୍ଗରେ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ସବୁ ଅବସ୍ଥାରେ ସବୁ ଜାତି ଧର୍ମ କୂଳ ଆଉ ନିଜର ଷ୍ଟାଟସ୍ ଆଉ ନିଜର ମେଣ୍ଟାଲ ଷ୍ଟାଟସ୍ ଅଲସୋ irrespective of all that you are eligible for that କାହିଁକି ନା ପ୍ରେମ ମାର୍ଗଟା ହେଉଛି ଯେମିତି ଆମର ଇଷ୍ଟ ଏସିଆନ୍ କଲଚର ଅଛି ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର ଇଏ ଅଛି ଜୁଜୁତ୍ସୁ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ସେ ଯେଉଁ ଫୋର୍ସରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଜଣେ ଆଟାକ୍ କରୁଛି ସେଇ ଫୋର୍ସଟାକୁ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିକିରି ତାକୁ ଆପଣ ନିଜକୁ ପ୍ରୋଟେକ୍ଟ କରିବେ ଯଦି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଗୋଟେ ମୁଥା ମାରୁଛି ସେ ମୁଥାଟାକୁ ଟିକେ ସାଇଡ୍ କରିଦେବେ ସେ ବାଡ଼ିକି ଯାଇ ପଡ଼ିବନି ଯେ ଆପଣ ଖସିଯିବେ for that you require some adaptness and quickness ସେଗୁଡ଼ା ନ ରହିଲେ ତ ମୁଠାଟି ଆସି ମୁହଁରେ ପଡ଼ିବ ମୁହଁ ପଡ଼ିଲେ ନାକଟି ଫାଟିବ ରକ୍ତ ବାହାରିବ ତେଣୁ ଇଏ ଜିନିଷଟି ହେଲା ସେଇଆ ଆପଣ ଯେଉଁ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେଉଁଥିରେ ମଜି ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି ସେଇ ମଜିକିରି ରହି କି ତାଙ୍କର ଉପାସନା କରିହୁଏ ତାର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର ମାର୍ଗ ଠାକୁର ଏଠି ଲିପିବଦ୍ଧ କରିଛନ୍ତି ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ୱାର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ବି ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଶୃଙ୍ଗାର ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ନୁହେଁ ଗୁରୁଙ୍କର ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦେଶରେ ନ କଲେ ହୁଏନି ସେ ଜଣେ ନାୟିକା ଥାନ୍ତି ସାଧକଙ୍କର ସେ ନାୟିକା କି ନାୟକ ଜଣେ କିଏ ସିଦ୍ଧ ହେବା ଦରକାର ଜଣେ ସିଦ୍ଧ ନହେଲେ ସେ କାମ ହୁଏନି ସହଜ ସାଧନାକୁ କାହିଁକି କହିଛନ୍ତି ଆଜି ବୁଝେଇଲେ ସହଜ ସାଧନ କହିବାର ରିଜନ୍ ହେଲା ଆପଣ ଯେଉଁ I want to go back a little bit. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର ପୁରାଣରେ ଅଛି, ଏଇଟା ଶାସ୍ତ୍ର କଥା କହୁନି, ପୁରାଣ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ର ପୁରାଣରେ ଅଛି, ଯେତେବେଳେ ବ୍ରହ୍ମା ଇଚ୍ଛା କଲେ ସୃଷ୍ଟି କରିବେ, ତାଙ୍କୁ କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ କରାହେଲା ସୃଷ୍ଟି କରିବା ପାଇଁ, ସିଏ ସନକ ସନତ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଋଷିଙ୍କୁ କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ କଲେ, ଯାଇକି ସଂସାର କର। ସେମାନେ ଯାଇ ଧ୍ୟାନରେ ଦେଖିଲେ ଯେ ସଂସାର କଲା ମାନେ ବହୁତ ଲଟପଟ, ବହୁତ ଅସୁବିଧା। ସିଏ ସେଇଠୁ କହିଲେ ଆମେ ଛୋଟ ପିଲାରୁ ଆଉ ବଡ଼ ହବୁନି, ବଡ଼ ହେଲା ମାନେ ମୁଣ୍ଡରେ ସେ ବିକୃତ ଚିନ୍ତା ଗୁଡ଼ା ପଶିବ। ଛୋଟ ପିଲା ଥିଲେ ଦେ ଆର୍ ଭେରି ଇନୋସେଣ୍ଟ, ଦେ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ଡୁ ଏନିଥିଙ୍ଗ। ସେ ଛୋଟ ପିଲା ହେଇ ବାବାଜୀ ହେଇଗଲେ, ଆଉ ସଂସାର କେମିତି ହବ? ସେ ସେଇଠୁ ବାହାରିକି ଦକ୍ଷ ପ୍ରଜାପତିଙ୍କୁ ବାହାର କଲେ। ସେଇଠି ତାଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡ୍ୟୁସ୍ କରାହେଲା, ଯୋଉଟା ଠାକୁର 2-3 ଜାଗାରେ କହିସାରିଲେଣି। ଆ ଭିତରେ ପୁରୁଷ ଆଉ ପ୍ରକୃତି ଦୁଇଟା ଭାଇଟିଏ ମାଟିଏ। ସେ ପୁରୁଷଟିଏ ଅଛି, ତାର ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ସନ୍ ହବ ସେ ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ଲୋକ ଉପରେ, ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ଲୋକଟିଏ ଅଛି, ତାର ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ସନ୍ ଥିବ ପୁରୁଷ ଲୋକ ଉପରେ। ସେ ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ସନ୍ଟା କେମିତି ରହିବ ଯାହାଫଳରେ କି they fall in love and they at some point enjoy their life and procreate. ସେଇ ଯେଉଁ ଜିନିଷଟା comes very natural to everybody, and that nature nobody has to teach anybody. They can just get it, and they feel very comfortable in that state. ସେ ଯେଉଁ କମ୍ଫର୍ଟଟା ରହୁଛି, ସେ ଯେଉଁ there is no push or pull to do that, you just do it. ତାକୁ ୟୁଜ୍ କରି କେମିତି ଭଗବାନଙ୍କ ଆଡ଼କୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପ୍ରେମ ପ୍ରତି ବଢ଼ିବ, ତାର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଉପାୟ ଅଛି ଦିଆଯାଇଛି। ସେଇଟାକୁ ସହଜ ସାଧନ କାହିଁକି କୁହାଯାଉଛି ନା, you can do all those things at the same time, you just redirect things and then it goes to the other side. ତାର ଡିସ୍କ୍ରିପସନ୍ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଯେଉଁ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଉପାୟ ସବୁ ଦିଆହେଇଛି, ସ୍ପେସିଆଲି ଯେଉଁ ଶୃଙ୍ଗାର ସାଧନା ଜିନିଷଟା, ତାକୁ ଆଉ ବେଶୀ ଡିଟେଲକୁ ଯାଉନି। ବଟ୍ ତାର ମେନ୍ ରିଜନ୍ ହେଲା ଯେ ଯେଉଁ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ସହଜ ଲାଗୁଛି, ସେଇ ସହଜ ଜିନିଷ ଆଧ୍ୟାତ୍ମିକତା ସହିତ କିଛି ସମ୍ପର୍କ ବି ନାହିଁ, ତାକୁ ଟାଣି ଆଣିକି ଆଧ୍ୟାତ୍ମିକତା ଭିତରେ ପୁରେଇ ହୁଏ। ତାର ଉପାୟ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଠାକୁର ଏଠି ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି। ତେଣୁ ଆମର 35 ଲାଇଟ୍ ରଖିବା, ଆଉ ୱିଲ୍ ଗୋ ଟୁ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ସଙ୍ଗୀତ, and then we'll come back and discussion ଯଦି କାହାର କିଛି question ଅଛି, we'll try to address. ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। জয় গুরু। অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন, তুমি অন্তরযামী। অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন, বহু অন্তরযামী। অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন, বহু অন্তরযামী। অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন, বহু অন্তরযামী। বাহিরে দেখায় যত খুঁজি তাই, বাহিরে দেখায় যত খুঁজি তাই, বাহিরে দেখায় যত খুঁজি তাই, পাই না তোমারে আমি। বহু অন্তরযামী, বহু অন্তরযামী। অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন, বহু অন্তরযামী। অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন, বহু অন্তরযামী।
আছো হে অন্তরতম প্রাণের মতন আতরতম আসাতে আছো হে অন্তরতম মন্দিরের সে বিগ্রহ গড়ি মন্দিরের সে বিগ্রহ গড়ি দেখে আছো তুমি স্বামী তুমি অন্তর জামি তুমি অন্তর জামি অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন তুমি অন্তর জামি অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন তুমি অন্তর জামি সমীরণ সম আলোর মতন সমীরণ সম আলোর মতন বিশেরয়ে সারায়ে বিশেরয়ে সারা গন্ধে কুসুমে সৌরভসম গন্ধে কুসুমে সৌরভসম প্রাণে প্রাণে আছো জড়া প্রাণে প্রাণে আছো জড়া তুমি বহু রূপে তুমি রূপহীন তুমি বহু রূপী তুমি রূপহীন আমাকে আছো হে অন্তবিহীন আমাকে আছো হে অন্তবিহীন বহুরূপী হেলা বহুরূপী হেলা সহচরে তুমি যে জীবস জামি তুমি অন্তর জামি অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন তুমি অন্তর জামি অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন তুমি অন্তর জামি বাহিরে দেখায় যত খুঁজি তাই বাহিরে দেখায় যত খুঁজি তাই পাই না তোমারে আমি তুমি অন্তর জামি অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন তুমি অন্তর জামি অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন তুমি অন্তর জামি তুমি অন্তর জামি জয় গুরু।
জয় গুরু। সংসার পথে পার্ট 1 চ্যাপ্টার 11। I am not saying to withdraw the puja related rituals, but rituals happening these days are not in a proper manner. Nowadays, discussions related to darsana are not taking place in the country. However, with these rituals, the Hindu culture is kept alive. You people perform the puja rituals in an authentic way is my wish. The puja performed by priests nowadays are not in a genuine way. Devatas are not pets like dogs and cats that they come running when you call them the whistle. Worshipping deity is a way of Vaidipata. There are scientific mysteries behind all those concepts. All those rituals have to be performed with proper rules and regulations. Then only Devatas would accept those. We ask penniless, poverty-stricken priests to perform our rituals for Goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, and so is the result. The host also does not leave a chance to cheat Devatas, and even the priest tries to get an opportunity to cheat the host. Knowing about all these things, people still perform ceremonies only to get name and fame. The Kali Puja, etc. would be celebrated only when some drama group arrives to perform a play. Poor people also perform the ceremonies on a small scale for their children's prosperity and well-being. They can also use yogurt instead of ghee to perform the rituals and purchase low-priced offerings for the same from the market. During occasions, all the ladies and daughter-in-laws of the family get full-length saris and garments, whereas they purchase tiny piece of cloth for Mahamaya, the mother of the universe. The Dakshina, the ritual charge for the priest, remains in credit or becomes fraudulent. A devious competition starts between the priest and the host at the place of worship. Here there is a money loss, and there goes show off of reciting mantras. This is how the puja gets arranged in the present society. Therefore, eligible priests who know proper rich spiritual rites and hosts who offer donations generously are barely found. So the puja ritual becomes successful whenever these type of righteous priest and proper host ignite like Mani Kanchana. Nowadays the priests are poor and needy and show gratitude to whatever they receive. The process of nyasa, that is the movement of fingers and circulating the static current with some pressure required parts in the body, is done by priest during the puja rituals. Along with this process of uttering the bija mantra is also required, because the fact that sometimes it is impossible to send message through telegraph wire even if there is electricity flowing. Along with bija mantra, sending sound waves for concerned deity by arranging their Tare Takpa Bija and Nama etc., awakening it by the willpower. Bija mantra are only the symbolic sign of deities. During puja, there is a provision of Antara Matruta Nyasa. There is a complete picture of the concept of creation, Smruti Tattva, painted within the Chakra. If Antara Matrutra Nyasa is performed properly, the state of clairvoyance can be attained. While performing stage-wise Nyasa, by concentrating the mind on a specific tattva or by self-hypnotism on devatas or bhava samadhi, is called as Devata Puja. The concept behind establishing life in an idol is the powerful consciousness, Shakti Chaitanya, lying dormant in the atoms and the molecules of the materials used for preparing the idol like paddy, clay, stone and bronze, is to be aroused by the self-consciousness of the worshipper. This is only after establishing life. First, the worshipper, using flour and sandalwood paste on his forehead, meditate, realizing himself identical with devatas and worshipping himself with his own 24 inner concepts,
Chaturvinsati Tattva. Then arranging the special oblation worship externally. That time the worshippers worship himself and offer Naivedya to God. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Little more than full 10 minutes achi. The car kisi question tha, let's bring them up. We'll start the discussion.
Jai bhai, before you ask any questions, मुझे गोटे correction करे चाहूँगी. से गला थरक स्वामी भाई को कहते आनिक वो अन्न आनिक actually देखी से वाट डिक्शनरी that is अन्न किसी माने लेटर दैट ट्रांसफर ହେଇଛି ସେଟା ଅହନ so not a h n a that is a h a n ଅହନ ଅହନ ଶବ୍ଦର ଅର୍ଥ ହେଲା ଦିନ ସେଇଥିରୁ ମାନେ ତାକୁ ଅନ୍ନ ଆସୁଛି ଦିନର ମଧ୍ୟାହ୍ନ ଦିନର ଲେଟର ପାର୍ଟ ଅପରାହ୍ନ ଦିନର ଏଣ୍ଡ ପାର୍ଟ ସାୟାହ୍ନ ପୂର୍ବାହ୍ନ ପ୍ରାୟ ପାର୍ଟ this is just wanted to make a correction it is not it is as ଅହନ ଅହନରୁ ଅନ୍ନ ହେଇକି ଆନିକ ହେଉଛି ଆଉ
good any
ପଚାରିଥିଲେ ସୁପ୍ରୀତ ଭାଇ ନୀତି ପାଳନ ବିଷୟରେ ଭାଇ କହିଲେ କରନ୍ତିନି ଜାଣନ୍ତିନି ଭାଇ ଏନି ଆଇଡିଆ ଆପଣ କହିପାରିବେ କି ନୀତି ପାଳନଟା ମାନେ କ'ଣ ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି
ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ଉପବାସ କରାଯାଏ ସବୁ ଉପବାସର କିଛି ନା କିଛି ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ଅଛି ଯେମିତି ଏକାଦଶୀ ପାଳନର ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ହେଲା ସେଇ ଦିନଟା ଆପଣ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କ ନାମ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ କଥା ସ୍ମରଣ କରି ରହିବେ ଦିନ ସାରା ଆଉ କିଛି ଖରାପ କାମ କରିବେନି ଆଉ ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଏଲିମେଣ୍ଟାରୀ କେନାଲକୁ ଟିକେ ଡାଇଜେଷ୍ଟିଭ୍ ସିଷ୍ଟମକୁ ଟିକେ ରେଷ୍ଟ ଦେଉଛନ୍ତି ସେଇଟା ହେଲା ଏକାଦଶୀର ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମର ଯଦି ସଂଘ ସେବକରେ ପଢ଼ିବେ କୁହାଯାଇଛି ତା ପୂର୍ବ ଦିନ ଆଉ ତା ପରଦିନ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ମାନେ ଏକାଦଶୀ ପୂର୍ବ ଦିନ ଏକାଦଶୀ ପରଦିନ ତିନିଟାକ ଦିନ ଶୁଚିଶୁଦ୍ଧ ହେଇକି ରହିବେ କୌଣସି ପ୍ରକାର କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରିବେନି ରହିଲେ କ'ଣ କି ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ କନେକ୍ସନ୍ କରିବାକୁ ସୁବିଧା ହୁଏ ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଉପବାସଟି କଲେ ପେଟଟାକୁ ଟିକେ ବିଶ୍ରାମ ବି ମିଳିଲା ଇଟ୍ସ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି better for your digestive health. ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ପାଳନଟା ସେଇଭଳିଆ ତାର ଜୁନିୟର ବେସିକାଲି ମୁଁ ଯେତିକି ଜାଣିଛି ଆପଣ ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ହେବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଭୋଗ ନିବେଦନ କରି ପ୍ରସାଦ ଗ୍ରହଣ କରିବେ ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ପରେ ଆଉ କିଛି ପ୍ରସାଦ ପାଆନ୍ତିନି ଖାଆନ୍ତିନି ବେସିକାଲି ସୋ ଆମର ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ଅଭ୍ୟାସ ଅଛି 9ଟା 10ଟା 11ଟା ନହେଲେ ଡିନର ହୁଏନି ଆପଣ ସେଦିନ 6ଟା ବେଳୁ ଯଦି ଡିନର କରିଦେଇପାରିଲେ ଆମର ଏଠିକାର ଅଭ୍ୟାସ ୟୁଜୁଆଲି 7-8 ଭିତରେ ତ ପ୍ରାୟ ସମସ୍ତେ ଡିନର କରିଦିଅନ୍ତି do it couple of hours before and then by the time you go to sleep your stomach is mostly empty or half empty କାହିଁକିନା ଶୋଇ ପଡ଼ିଲା ପରେ ଆଉ ଡାଇଜେଷ୍ଟିଭ୍ ସିଷ୍ଟମଟା ବି ସ୍ଲୋ ହେଇଯାଏ କିଛି କରେନି ସକାଳୁ ଉଠିଲା ବେଳକୁ ସେଇଟା ସେମିତି ଡାଇଜେଷ୍ଟ ନ ହେଇକି ସେମିତି ଥିବ so then gets you in other trouble that is probably the only thing I don't know anything else if somebody else has any other info we can talk about it
भाई जयगिरी भाई अमिता भाई कहते जो ठाकुर लाइक जो पूर्णिमा अमावास्या संक्रांति रखा जाता है निष्पादन समथिंग डिफरेंट
निशी पालन कराए पूर्णिमा अमावास्या और संक्रांति दिन तीनटा तेणु मासकू गोटे पूर्णिमा आसो गोटे अमावास्या आसो गोटे संक्रांति आसो से 3 दिन और एकादशी 2 दिन आज अच्छी एकादशी भाई तो पठे ये करते जदि आप गूगल कैलेंडर टाक ऐड कर दूसरी कैलेंडर रे आंसर्स कैलेंडर गूगल कैलेंडर जब ऐड करदे यू विल आल्सो हैव दैट एंड से अपडेट कर दूसरी सब वर्ष विथ आवर लोकेशन तो दैट इज दैट आउ कौन क्वेश्चन अच्छे कहतु भाई मैंने आप कथाटा भल कि शुणा जाऊनी कटुची हाँ शुणागला कौन
हाँ मुझे एकादशी जमी रुटी दबार नियम अच्छी नीति पालन କେତେ କ'ଣ ରୁଟି ଦିଆଯିବା ଦରକାର ନା ଅନ୍ନ କେତେ ଚଳିବ?
ଆମ ନିଷ୍ଠି ପାଳନରେ ସେମିତି କିଛି ଇଏ ନାହିଁ। ଆପଣ ଯାହା ଡିନର କରୁଛନ୍ତି କି ଯାହା ଭୋଗ ଦେଉଛନ୍ତି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ସେଇ ଭୋଗଟି ଦେବେ। କିନ୍ତୁ ପୂଜା ଯେଉଁ ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ପୂଜା କରୁନାହାନ୍ତି କି, ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ପୂଜା ମାନେ ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ସ୍ତୋତ୍ର ବନ୍ଦନା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଯେଉଁ ଭୋଗ ଦେଉଛନ୍ତି ସେଇ ଭୋଗରେ ରାତି ଭୋଗଟା ଦେଇଦେବେ। ଆଉ ଡିନର ପାଇଁ ଅଲଗା ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଦିଆହେବନି। ଆପଣ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ସ୍ତୋତ୍ର ବନ୍ଦନା ବହି ଶାସ୍ତ୍ର ପାଠ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ସରିଗଲା, ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ଆସନ ବନ୍ଦ କଲେ, ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ବିଶ୍ରାମ ଦେଇଦେଲେ, ସେଇ ଯେଉଁ ଭୋଗଟା ଦେଇଥିବେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରସାଦ ପାଇଦେବେ। ଏଇଟା ହେଲା ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ପାଳନ। ଯଦି ଟିକେ ଡେରି ହେଇଯାଉଛି, ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ହେଇଯାଉଛି, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ଓକେ, ଅର୍ଲି କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ଆମକୁ ଯେଉଁ ପ୍ରୋସେସ୍ ସଂଘ କହିଛି କରୁଛୁ ସେଇଟା ହେଲା ତାର। ଏନି ଅଦର କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ସ?
ଭାଇ କହୁଥିଲି, ଭାଇ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ପଢୁଥିଲି ଶ୍ରୀ ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ କଥା ଭିତରେ ଯୁଗ ଧର୍ମ ଆଉ ଆମର ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଯେତେଟା ଯୁଗ ଧର୍ମ ଅଛି ସେଇଥିରେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି କଳି ଯୁଗର ପରମାୟୁ 50 ବର୍ଷ। ଆଉ ତାର ଠାକୁର ସେଟା ତାର ଏମ୍ଫାସିସ୍ କହୁଛନ୍ତି କି ଅଳ୍ପ ତାର ହେଲେ ବି ସେଟା ମାନେ ବହୁତ ପାୱାରଫୁଲ। ତ କ'ଣ ଆମ କଳି ଯୁଗର ବର୍ଷ ଇଏ ବି 50 ବର୍ଷ ନା ମାନେ that is not the correct time? ମାନେ ସେଇଟା ଟିକେ କନଫ୍ୟୁଜନ ରହୁଛି କି ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଯୋଉ ଯେତେ ଲେୟର ଅଛି ଆମର ସତ୍ୟ ଯୁଗ, ତ୍ରେତା ଯୁଗ, ଦ୍ୱାପର, କଳି ଯୁଗ, ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ବ୍ୟବଧାନ କେତେ ଅଛି ଆଉ ସେଟା କେମିତି ଏକ୍ଜିଷ୍ଟ କରୁଛି?
ଭାଇ 50 ବର୍ଷ ହେଲେ ଆମେ ତ ଏଇଠି ବହୁତ ଅଛନ୍ତି। ସାନଜିତ ଭାଇ 50 ଟପିଲେଣି, ବିଶ୍ୱଜିତ ଭାଇ 50 ଟପିଲେଣି। ଆମ କଥା ତ ଛାଡ଼, ବୁଢ଼ା ଲୋକ। ଆଉ ବ୍ରଜ ଭାଇ ତ ଛାଡ଼, ଷାଠିଏ 70 ହେଲାଣି, ତାଙ୍କୁ କିଛି ଠିକଣା ନାହିଁ, ଅଛନ୍ତି। ବ୍ରଜ ଭାଇଠୁ ଆଉ କିଏ ଛୁଆ ଅଛନ୍ତି ୟଙ୍ଗ ଲୋକ? ନାଇଁ, ସେଇଟା ଅଲ୍ କିଡିଂ aside, if you go back about 100 years, life expectancy was somewhere in that range, right? With advent of medicine and other awareness about diseases and stuff, people's average age has gone up. It's somewhere around upper 70s now. And generally you find a lot of people who made it to 60s, 70s, they make it to 80s and 90s. ତେଣୁ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଚିନ୍ତା କରନ୍ତୁନି। ଯେଉଁଟା ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି ଆଉ କେତେ ଜାଗାରେ ଅଛି ଯେ କଳିଯୁଗର ଅଳ୍ପ ଆୟୁ 100 ବର୍ଷ ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି, ଯେଉଁଟାକୁ ଡିଭାଇଡ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି 25 କରିକି। ସତ୍ୟ ଯୁଗରେ 1000 ବର୍ଷ ବଞ୍ଚୁଥିଲେ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି। So you know, it's just a average estimate which is growing, getting bigger and bigger now.
ତ ଭାଇ କ'ଣ ଆମର ଏବେ କ'ଣ ମାନେ ଏଇ ଯୁଗଟାକୁ କ'ଣ କୁହାଯିବ? କଳିଯୁଗ?
ଏଇଟା କଳିଯୁଗ ହିଁ ଚାଲିଛି ଭାଇ। କଳିଯୁଗ ତ ଚାଲିଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ ତାର ଯୋଉ ଆଭରେଜ ଏଜଟା ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ବଢି ଯାଉଛି। ଆପଣଙ୍କର ମୋର୍ଟାଲିଟି, ଇନଫାଣ୍ଟ ମୋର୍ଟାଲିଟି କମିଗଲା। ଆଉ ଆଗରୁ before insulin, sorry, not insulin, I'm talking about penicillin or the antibiotics, people used to die of infection. You get an infection, you get a dysentery, these kind of things, you die. You have cholera, you die. Like very high mortality or death rate. People have conquered a lot of those, but we still have some things like COVID now. Nobody has answer to it, and it doesn't have that higher death rate, but its spread rate is very high. So a lot of people can very quickly get infected, and then even a small percent of dying is also a big number. And so those are challenges that human race faces, and they invent and then they get out of it. So jaha likha hai context hochi at that time that was the average age, but it has gone up since probably 30 years, 35 years probably since.
Again, enjoy.
Any other questions? I want to draw your attention to one thing. Aji amar jo bhai padhile sansar pathe ତା ଦେହରେ ଅନ୍ତର୍ମାତୃକା ପୂଜା ବୋଲି ଗୋଟେ କଥା ରେଫର କରାଯାଇଛି। ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଜପ କଥା କୁହାହେଉଛି, ଇଷ୍ଟ ମନ୍ତ୍ର ଜପ ବୋଲି କୁହାହେଉଛି। ସେଇଟା ହେଉଛି ଆମର ବୈଦିକ କର୍ମକାଣ୍ଡ ଜିନିଷ। ତେଣୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଜଣେ ଏନି ପୂଜା ଆପଣ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, don't ask this US Purohit coming to your house doing ଘର ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠା or ସତ୍ୟନାରାୟଣ ପୂଜା and all that. they usually don't do it. ସେମାନେ କ'ଣ କରନ୍ତି କି ବେଦ ମନ୍ତ୍ର ପଢ଼ି ଦିଅନ୍ତି, ତାର ବି ଅଛି ଅଦର ସାଇଡ୍ ଯେ ବେଦ ମନ୍ତ୍ର ପଢ଼ିଲେ ଦେହ ପବିତ୍ର ହେଇଯାଇଥାଏ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି, କିନ୍ତୁ ତାର ପ୍ରକୃତ ଧାରାଟା ଇଭିନ୍ ଘର ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠାରେ ବି ସପୋଜ ଟୁ ଡୁ ଆମର ଆଶ୍ରମ ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠା ହେଇଥିଲା କି ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କର ଯେଉଁ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ପୂଜାରେ ଜଏନ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ଆମେ ଯେଉଁ ହୋମ କରୁଛୁ ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଆମର ବୈଦିକ ମତରେ କେତେ ଗୁଡ଼ାଏ ଷ୍ଟେପ୍ ଅଛି ଯାହାଦ୍ୱାରା କ'ଣ ହୁଏ ନା ଯିଏ ପୂଜା କରୁଛନ୍ତି ବା ପୂଜକ ପୁରୋହିତ ଯାହା କୁହନ୍ତୁ, ସେଇ ପୂଜକ ବା ପୁରୋହିତ ସିଏ ନିଜକୁ ଠାକୁର ଯେଉଁଟା ଆଜି କହିଲେ ତାଙ୍କ ଉପଦେଶରେ, ସିଏ ଯେଉଁ ଇଷ୍ଟ ଦେବତାଙ୍କୁ ଆପଣ ପୂଜା କରୁଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଅଭିନ୍ନ ମନେକରି ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରୁ ସେ ଦେବତାକୁ ବାହାରକୁ ଆଣିକି ପୂଜା କରନ୍ତି। ସେ ଯେଉଁ ଭିତରୁ ବାହାରକୁ ଆଣିବା ଯେଉଁ ପ୍ରୋସେସଟା, ସେଇଟା 4ଟା ଷ୍ଟେପ୍ ଅଛି। ଗୋଟିଏ ଷ୍ଟେପ୍, ପ୍ରଥମ ଷ୍ଟେପ୍ଟି ହେଲା ଆସନ ଶୁଦ୍ଧି। ସେ ଯେଉଁ ଆସନରେ ବସିଛନ୍ତି ସେଇଟାକୁ ମନ୍ତ୍ର ଦ୍ୱାରା ଶୁଦ୍ଧି କରାଯାଏ। ତାପରେ ସେ ଆସନରେ ବସିଥାନ୍ତି, ବସିକି ମନ୍ତ୍ର ଦ୍ୱାରା ସେ ଆସନଟା ଶୁଦ୍ଧି କରିଦିଅନ୍ତି। ଆସନଟା ଶୁଦ୍ଧି କଲା ପରେ ଭୂତ ଶୁଦ୍ଧି। ଭୂତ ଶୁଦ୍ଧି ଇଜ୍ ନଥିଙ୍ଗ ବଟ୍ ପ୍ରାଣବାୟୁର ଶୁଦ୍ଧି। ସେଠି ପ୍ରାଣାୟାମ ଅଛି। ପ୍ରାଣାୟାମରେ ଇଷ୍ଟମନ୍ତ୍ର ଜପ ବି କରନ୍ତି, ରେଚକ ପୂରକ କୁମ୍ଭକ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି କରିକିରି ତାର ଯେଉଁ କ୍ଲାସିକ୍ ଯୋଗିକ୍ ପ୍ରୋସେସ୍ ଅଛି, ତାର ନମ୍ବର୍ସ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଧରନ୍ତୁ ହେଲା 2, 8 and 4 or 4, 16 and 8, or you do 8, 32 and 16, that is how many times you have to utter the Mula mantra, or you do the highest one that I have seen is 16, 64 and 32. ଏତିକି ଥର ଜପ କରିକି ପ୍ରଥମଟା ହେଲା ପୂରକ, ଆପଣ ନିଶ୍ୱାସ ନେଲେ, ତାପରଟା ହେଲା କୁମ୍ଭକ ରଖିଲେ, ତାପରଟା ହେଲା ରେଚକ ଛାଡ଼ିଲେ। ଏ 3ଟା କରନ୍ତି, 2 ଥର 3 ଥର କରନ୍ତି ସେ ଇଏଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପ୍ରାଣାୟାମ, ତା ଭିତରେ ଜପ କରନ୍ତି। ଏତିକ କରିପାରିଲେ, ଯେଉଁମାନେ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର କାପାବିଲିଟି ବି ନଥାଏ, ଯେଉଁମାନଙ୍କ କାପାବିଲିଟି ଥାଏ କରିବାକୁ it just takes a long time, so they do 2, 8 and 4, maybe you can do it. ସେଇଟା ହେଲା ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଭୂତ ଶୁଦ୍ଧି। ଭିତରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପ୍ରାଣବାୟୁକୁ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ କରିଦେଲେ। କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ କଲା ପରେ ଅନ୍ତର୍ମାତୃକା, ଆଜି ଅନ୍ତର୍ମାତୃକା କଥା ଠାକୁର ଏଠି ଟିକେ ଏଲାବୋରେଟ୍ କରି କହିଛନ୍ତି। ସେ ଅନ୍ତର୍ମାତୃକାଟି କ'ଣ ନା ଆପଣ ଦେହ ଭିତରେ ସମ୍ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ବ୍ରହ୍ମାଣ୍ଡଟାକୁ ଆସ୍ୟୁମ୍ କରିବେ। ବ୍ରହ୍ମାଣ୍ଡଟାକୁ କେମିତି ଆସ୍ୟୁମ୍ କରାଯାଏ ନା ଆପଣ ଯେଉଁ ସପ୍ତ ଲୋକ ଅଛି, ସେ ସପ୍ତ ଲୋକ ଇଜ୍ ଅଲସୋ ପ୍ୟାରାଲାଲ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଷଟ୍ଚକ୍ର। ତେଣୁ ସେ ଷଟ୍ଚକ୍ରରୁ ଗୋଟିଏ ଗୋଟିଏ ଚକ୍ର ଧ୍ୟାନ କରନ୍ତି। ଗୋଟିଏ ଗୋଟିଏ ଚକ୍ରର ତାର ଯେଉଁ ଅଧିଷ୍ଠାତ୍ରୀ ଦେବତା ଅଛନ୍ତି, ତାଙ୍କର ଯେଉଁ ମଣ୍ଡଳ ସବୁ ଅଛି, ସେ ମଣ୍ଡଳରେ ଯେଉଁ ଅକ୍ଷର ବସା ହେଇଛି, କେତେ ପେଟାଲ ଅଛି, ପେଟାଲ ମାନଙ୍କର ଅକ୍ଷର ଅଛି, ସେଗୁଡ଼ା ସବୁ ଗୋଟିଏ 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 ମୂଳାଧାରରୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରି ଆଜ୍ଞା ଚକ୍ର ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଧ୍ୟାନ କରନ୍ତି। ଧ୍ୟାନ କଲା ଫଳରେ ସେ ବିଶ୍ୱମୟ ହେଇଗଲେ। ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଜିନିଷଟା ହେଲା ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଯିଏ ଇଷ୍ଟ ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ ସମାନତା ଆଣିବେ, ତାପରେ ଇଷ୍ଟକୁ ଅନ୍ତରରୁ ବାହାର କରି ମୂର୍ତ୍ତିରେ ରଖିଲେ ପୂଜା କଲେ। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଦ ପ୍ରୋସେସ୍। ତାପରେ ବହିର୍ମାତୃକା, ବହିର୍ମାତୃକାରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଏକ୍ସଟର୍ନାଲ ବଡିଟାକୁ ପୂଜା କରାଯାଏ। ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଜାଗାରେ ଅଙ୍ଗ ନାମ କମ୍ ନାମ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି କରିଯାଆନ୍ତି ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ ପାର୍ଟସ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦ ବଡି। ସେତିକ କରିଦେଲା ପରେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ସିଏ ଯିଏ ବସିଛନ୍ତି ପୁରୋହିତ, ସିଏ ତାଙ୍କ ନିଜ ସହିତ ଇଷ୍ଟଦେବଙ୍କର ଅଭିନ୍ନତା ବୋଧ କଲେ। ତେଣୁ ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଇଷ୍ଟଦେବ ଅଛନ୍ତି। ସେ ଇଷ୍ଟକୁ ତାଙ୍କ ହୃଦୟରୁ ବାହାର କରିକି ଆଣି ବସାନ୍ତି। ବସେଇକିରି ସେ ତାଙ୍କୁ କହିବେ ଆବାହନ ସଂସ୍ଥାପନ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି କରି କେତେଟା ମୁଦ୍ରା ତାଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖାହେବ, ଅଷ୍ଟମୁଦ୍ରା, ଦ୍ୱାଦଶ ମୁଦ୍ରା, ଦଶ ମୁଦ୍ରା ଏମିତି ସବୁ ଅଛି। ତାକୁ ଦେଖିଲା ପରେ ସେ ସେଠି ବସିଲେ, ତାଙ୍କୁ କହିବେ ଯେ ଆପଣ ଅନ୍ତରରୁ ବାହାରିଲେ ଏଠି ବସିଲେ, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଯେ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପୂଜା କରୁଛି ଆପଣ ଏଇଠି ବସିଥାନ୍ତୁ। କଥା ହେଲା ସିଏ ହେଉଛନ୍ତି ନିରାକାର। ତାଙ୍କୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣ ଆକାର ଦେଉଛନ୍ତି, ଆକାର ଦେବାର ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରୋସେସ୍ ଅଛି। ସେ ପ୍ରୋସେସଟା ଠାକୁର ତାର ଥିଓରିଟା ଏଠି କହିଦେଲେ। ସେ ଥିଓରିଟା ହେଲା ଏକାକାର ଅନୁଭବ କରିବେ, ଆଉ ତାପରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ବାହାରକୁ ଆଣିକି ପୂଜାପୂଜି କଲେ। ପୂଜା ସରିଲା ପରେ ବିସର୍ଜନ ହେଲା, ତାଙ୍କୁ କ୍ଷମା ମାଗିବେ। କ୍ଷମା ମାଗିଲା ପରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଫେର ଅନ୍ତରକୁ ନେଇକି ରଖିଦେବେ। ଫେର କେତେବେଳେ ମୋର ଯେତେବେଳେ ସମୟ ଦରକାର ପଡ଼ିବ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଡାକିକି ପୂଜା କରିବେ, ଆପଣ ଆସିବେ ବୋଲି ପ୍ରତିଜ୍ଞାବଦ୍ଧ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ, ଯାଆନ୍ତୁ। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଦ ପ୍ରୋସେସ୍। ସେଟା ଆଜି ଠାକୁର ଟିକେ ସର୍ଟରେ କହିଲେ, ସୋ ଆଇ ୱାଣ୍ଟେଡ୍ ଟୁ ଡ୍ର ୟୁର ଆଟେନସନ୍ ଟୁ ଇଟ୍। ଆମର ଟାଇମ୍ ହେଇଗଲାଣି, spend 2 more minutes. So ଭକ୍ତିର ଅଛି ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ସଙ୍ଗୀତ, ଭକ୍ତି ବନ୍ଧୁ ରେଡି। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
छितन परे कहीं किए दीना पाई दर्द तुम्हारी ओ छोड़ी पड़ोछी दुई कुड़सी मरे कहीं की करुणा को मेरा भंडारा देछ मेली मोपाई अतोड़ तुम्हारी निपुण दानारा प्रतिदन नाही नाही अतोड़ तुम्हारी निपुण दानारा प्रतिदन नाही नाही मातरी तुम्ही स्नेह परस देई मोचन पथरु काढिले कंटा रहीछ मोदिय नाई रहीछ मोरा जीवने मरणी हाथ धर सखी होई अतोड़ तुम्हारी निपुण दानारा प्रतिदन नाही नाही अतोड़ तुम्हारी निपुण दानारा प्रतिदन नाही नाही मोह लगी का हसी छहे प्रिया बड़ा हसी हसी तुम्हें बाही छाधमा उधर दरुण भाड़ा कोटि जन मोरा अनंत बंधना कोटि जन मोरा अनंत बंधना निमित्त के मोर अतोड़ तुम्हारी निपुण दानारा प्रतिदन नाही नाही अतोड़ तुम्हारी निपुण दानारा प्रतिदन नाही नाही तुम बेगरे अखिरुलो हाछारे नथित पराण अकुहारे कृतज्ञता जन करे लुटी जाए तुम चरण तଳରେ हीण दस अस बोही अतोड़ तुम्हारी निपुण दानारा प्रतिदन नाही नाही सीमाहीन तुम भूल बिरती हे परिब मूल देई अतोड़ तुम्हारी निपुण दानारा प्रतिदन नाही Jai Guru, yeah. We're going to start with attendance, and then afterwards, we're going to ask the speakers to read the meaning of the song that she did. Aditi?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Vidyarthi? Maitri?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Anja? Ansh?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Anto? Arnab?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Aru? Aya?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Jama? Jai Guru. Jan? Jarangi? Divya? मैं जरूर आचार्य जी मास्टर जय गुरु Kimi
Jai Guru.
जय गुरु Yuka
Asuchima.
जय गुरु Nandam
Jai
जय गुरु Naisu जय गुरु माँ जय गुरु Pratisha
Jai Guru Ma.
जय गुरु Pratyush
Jai Guru Ma.
जय गुरु Sanvi जय गुरु Saraswati जय गुरु Saraswati Lakshmi जय गुरु Bobby
Jai Guru.
जय गुरु Yogi
Jai Guru Ma.
जय गुरु Shreya
Jai Guru.
जय गुरु Manya
Jai Guru.
जय गुरु Jilan
Jai Guru.
जय गुरु Siddharth Jilan
Jai Guru.
जय गुरु Shrija
Jai Guru.
जय गुरु Suhani
Jai Guru.
जय गुरु Yukta
Jai Guru.
जय गुरु So let's start जय गुरु sorry who is this? Jai Guru. Let's start with the meaning of the song. Bhakti, if you can explain. Bhakti, can you explain the meaning of the song?
Yes, Jai. I was on mute. Jai. So the meaning of the song is, your blessings are countless. We can't repay back that at any cost. And you are always staying with me, holding my hand as an eternal friend in this life and after that. You are always protecting me from all the obstacles as my eternal parent. Jai.
That song, like many other songs, is about Sakura and other relationship. And so this song too is about that support that he gives us, the guidance that he gives us, and he is always there, showing us the right path, being there for us as we live through this life. And so it's very beautiful. These last few months in this discussion, we've been learning about our Guru and who Chakra is and what all he can do. And we've been learning about Brahman and that concept and what that concept means. That is how it's related to as well as it talks about what the ultimate goal of the Puja is for us, and ultimately what we want to get, what we are getting out of all of this, and what and how Chakra and those concepts of Brahman and how Chakra is involved through all of that. So we talked about this before, but what we talked about is our ultimate goal, our Chakra's ultimate goal for all of us. What are we doing here with religion? And what are we talking about the ultimate goal here?
Aditi is coming. She just stepped away.
Okay. Let's go to Ansh. And what are we talking about as our ultimate goal here?
Can you repeat the question?
What is our ultimate goal with religion? What have we talked about that?
I think that it's like to achieve samadhi and like to know God.
So to know God. Our ultimate goal is to find to get to know God, and that's why we know what it means to do and any other ideas? Any other ideas about what our ultimate goal is to do? You guys are giving? Are you still there? I know there's a little bit of disturbance, so it might be hard to hear. Okay, so let's just move forward. So, one of the goals, one of the things we're talking about is how to know God, know who we are, know how we are supposed to achieve those goals, learn what happens that is for us. So today we're going to go back into the Upadesha, and we're going to read, those of you that have this book, you can open it up and read along. We're going to read pages 76 to 77, which will have some advice. If you don't have the book you want, Manu will refer to that. So Manu, when you're ready.
Chapter 11. To common people. Now, what is the duty of common people? What will they do? What path will they take? Against whom will they believe? They will average time to the Hindu society. There is an apprehension because of such average time. Whom will they trust? He who speaks, all householders wake up. Against them, don't lie. Is it no man? Therefore, what is now our duty? We will do no man. Now, our duty is to seek self and become used to the human knowledge. Because the human has been building this knowledge by sending each of us in the world of action. In one way, according to the dictated standpoint, taking the sensitive knowledge, we will never fall into any confusion or trouble. In our body, spirit, circumstance, regardless of the Krishna, is physically living the master of the Gita to a sad and confused disciple and companion, Arjuna, this man. Hence, knowledge is to be acquired by taking shelter of concept. But those who have not attained the purity of the mind and are hampered by the level of mind are not under the control of concept. Therefore, the purity of mind is the purpose of awakening the concept. Again, if one desires to attain the purity of mind, one has to attain the divine principle. So the supremely learned Rishi has revised the Brahma theory of karma licensed to logical and that experiences in your life. One could assume purity of mind on living a life based on the Paribrajakacharya Sangha of reading Greek scriptures and gaining knowledge within the skill of the spirit, experiment and practicing Deva and Nigam, as well as Efland and outer senses. No more Sangha is the foundation of the life. The meaningful condition of our society is simply due to the absence of unity. Jai.
Jai. There very rich and has a few points to discuss, but before we go into that, let's start with, based off of what we've heard, start with getting some main points that you all discussed that. So with Saraswati, can you summarize what's the main point that you all are? Very good, Saraswati. Okay, let's go to Prati.
What's the mind? There's a lot of noise, so give me a second. I'm going to mute everyone. I'm then going to unmute you, then going after unmute one by one.
Okay.
You have been muted. To unmute yourself, press the star key twice.
Jai Guru, actually, there was lots of background noise, so I couldn't actually understand the story, so I don't actually know. Jai Guru.
Jai. So why don't we just, now that the disturbance is gone, why don't we reread that portion? I assume probably it was difficult for most of us to hear that. So, Manu, if you can read those same 2 pages again.
Maybe it's mute, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, maybe. Okay, I can go ahead and read this again if we're having some technical difficulties here. Jai Guru, yes, we did.
Should I start from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. Jai Guru, Chapter 11. To common people. Now, what is the duty of common people? What will they do? What path will they traverse? Against whom will they believe? It is an adverse time for the Hindu society. There is an apprehension because of such adverse times. Whom will they trust? He who speaks, O householders, wake up, again says, don't arise, it is still night. Therefore, what is now our duty? Resort to humanity. Now, our duty is to take shelter of the God-gifted human qualities, because He has endowed us with knowledge by sending each of us to the world of action. If one lives according to the dictates of conscience, taking the shelter of knowledge, one will never fall into any confusion or trouble. In our body, Chariot the calm science, incarnate Sri Krishna is perpetually feeding the nectar of the Gita to his sad and confused disciple and companion Arjuna, suggestive of mind. Hence, knowledge is to be acquired by taking shelter of calm science. But those who have not attained the purity of mind and live enchanted by the spell of Maya are not under the control of calm science. Therefore, the purity of mind presupposes the awakening of calm science. Again, if one desires to attain the purity of mind, one has to obey the divine principles. So the supremely learned rishis have provided in Brahmacharya Shrama life of celibacy as the first step to a meaningful human life. One could attain purity of mind on leading a life based on the Brahmacharya Shrama by reading holy scriptures, attaining knowledge, bringing necessary control over food, enjoyment and practicing yama and niyama, control of inner and outer senses. Brahmacharya is the foundation of religion. The miserable condition of our society is chiefly due to the absence of Brahmacharya. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Thank you for reading that again. That time I think we could probably all hear a little bit better. Okay, so hopefully you could hear that. And so I'll go back to Pratyush. So now that we are able to hear that, what are some of the main points, a summary of what you just heard?
Guru, one main point that I heard was that the job of common people would be to accept the knowledge that is offered by God.
Very good. So one of the things that we heard in here was that one of our duties is to accept knowledge that's given to us by God. So in our case, that's given to us by Thakura in books like this, where he's told us these things, this knowledge that we are to have. Excellent. Okay, Saraswati, what's one thing that you heard in here? One piece of information you got out of this. Negative. Saraswati, if you're speaking, you're still muted. Okay. Move forward. Okay. Jimmy, what's one thing that you learned from this passage?
Mute off. You have been muted. To unmute yourself, press the star key twice.
Okay. Perhaps we are still muted or having trouble unmuting ourselves. So we'll just move forward from here. Okay. So I think one of the things that we discussed, that Pratyush said, we want to gain knowledge, and we are to accept the knowledge given to us by God, in our case by Thakura. As we equate the two. And earlier on, though not all of us, due to the disturbance, not all of us might have heard this, when we were talking about what our ultimate goal is, our ultimate goal.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
I think the one thing I learned is that we should go by our goals. We should try to accomplish our goals that we made.
So we should try to accomplish goals that we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, so there's a part in here where it talks about the purity of mind presupposes the awakening of conscience. Does anyone have any idea what that means?
Jayruma, could you please repeat that?
Yes. So there's one line here that says, the purity of mind presupposes the awakening of conscience. What does that mean?
This is Ansh.
Jai Guru Ansh.
I think that purity of conscience or awakening of conscience means the detachment of all material objects.
Okay, so awakening of conscience, I think we've talked about this before. So there is an ultimate knowledge, understanding the question of who are we, who is God, and getting that ultimate knowledge of the universe, essentially, that, Thakura guides us through life and helps us understand what we're supposed to be doing at any given point. But that ultimate knowledge that he has of the universe, that he is imparting on us, that's that awakening of conscience, that ultimate knowledge of who we are, who he is, how everything is related. And so it is saying, right, that in order to even get to that level where we can awaken that conscience, where we can get that knowledge that he is imparting to us, we need a purity of mind. And so as Ansh said, part of that is being separate from the material world in a way, of understanding where we are. There are other parts in here. What are some other things that Thakura has said here that helps us purify our minds? Yukta.
Jayguru, I think one of the things mentioned in the story to make your minds pure is to practice yamas.
And do you remember what the yamas are? Or at least any of them?
Jayguru, no, I don't, sorry.
That's okay. It's been a while since we talked about them. Does anyone remember yamas and niyamas? So, Aditi, if you're back, do you remember the yamas and niyamas? Okay. So let's just, as a review, we did this some time ago, but we've talked about there's the 5 yamas, right? Ahimsa, which is non-violence, satya, telling the truth. Asteya, which is the non-stealing, the not wanting to have other people's things. Brahmacharya, which is absence from material pleasures. And aparigraha, which is when you give up material pleasures and excess luxury and let go of that feeling of wanting different things. And so that's, training your mind to be more content. And so then the niyamas, you have sosha, which is removing impurities from your body and mind. Santosha is practicing contentment, so being content with what you have, how you're living. Tapasya, which is following strict penance. Swadhyaya, which is chanting and understanding, studying the Vedas with devotion, so gaining that knowledge. And Ishvara Pranidhana, which is devotion and sanctity, especially when you are worshiping God, so surrendering yourself to God. And so those sorts, so those control of the inner and outer senses, cultivating our mind, those sorts of things, as well as following the instructions of Thakura, where he kind of gives us this guidance on ways to control ourselves and control our minds. Following all of that, and following Thakura's advice on how to live and how to be, how to interact, doing morning and evening puja, reading his books, singing our prayers, singing songs to him and remembering him, all of those aspects help us purify our minds. And through our devotion to Thakura and through our trust in him and following of him, we are gradually working on purifying our minds and getting to a point and getting into a position where we will actually be able to understand the knowledge and the wisdom that he is giving to us and that he has left us in these books and his teachings that he has passed on. So with that, that is the end of what we have for session today. We will now move on to Bhava Vinaya, which is Pratish. Pratish, when you're ready. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Today is my Bhava Vinaya, and I thank Thakura for giving me a moment to speak. Now our school has opened. My school is opened, and I'm joining school from Google Meets online. Before, in summer, I just used to sit around waiting for my mom to tell me that I can watch TV, but now I get to at least do something. And there are a few good things that normally happen now. I get Madhyana Prasad every day for lunch, and I join evening puja regularly with my parents. And yesterday, I also went to Super Sabai's puja. I went to their house, and I played with Srijan Simran. And they also got to eat lots of good food. Okay, Jai Guru.
जय गुरु रश्मि चौधरी में भाभी में लाइन म्यूट अच्छी स्टार दीथर स्टार दबे देले अनम्यूट हो मैं we may be unmuted too. आप लोग अनम्यूट कर दीजिए सेटिंग केमती करिए
म्यूट ऑफ still unmute होने वाले भाई
जय गुरु मैं बोधे पूरा म्यूट रे अछंती
टू टाइम्स स्टार्ट देले
हेलो मात्र लास्ट 4 डिजिट कर मना
तंकर जॉर्जिया फोन टा बोधे I have no clue.
मैं 2 टाइम्स स्टार्ट चिप दियंतु के जीवो यदि आपण सुनचंती
right must be start को दिथर चिपी दंत हे जो हां एबे सुना गला कोन तुमे
आज्ञा पारी भाई हां जय गुरु आज मोर पारी आ सेवा अनेक समय आमे भाबू कि आम एटा ठीक सेटा भूल आम गुड़ा जिनस निजे निजे डिसाइड कर कि आम एटा भल था सेमती हवा दरकार किंतु आम केबे जानूना कि ठाकुरंकर महान इच्छा पछरे कौन अच्छी जहाँ भी आमर हेउची एट दिस मोमेंट दैट इज बेस्ट फॉर अस जेमती कि लाइक एक घरे आसला परे लाइक सिंस एप्रिल बिगिनिंग रु मु प्रतिदिन सकाळे उठी गाधे कि ठाकुर को दांडी फूल आनिकी जेतबेले पूजा करछि सेति गुडे बहुत आनंद अनुभव करछि एंड बहुत फूल होछि एंड फ्रॉम मिड मे टू आज पर्यंत एवरी संडे ठाकुर को माळ दे करछि जोटा कि माने इट गिव्स इमेंस प्लेजर इनसाइड तो ठाकुर तांकर फूल अरेंज करिसंती बट मो खाली निमित्त मात्र खाली माने किंतु आनंदटा मते ही मिलुछि
ଯାହା ବି ଠାକୁର କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆମର ଭଲ ପାଇଁ ହିଁ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ଗତକାଲି ସୁପ୍ରିତ ଭାଇଙ୍କର ବାର୍ଷିକ ଉତ୍ସବରେ ବ୍ରଜ ଭାଇ ଭାବ ବିନିମୟ କରୁଥିଲେ ଯେ ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଜିନିଷ କହିଲେ କି ଆମ ମାନଙ୍କର ପ୍ରବଳ ଦେହାତ୍ମ ବୋଧ ରହୁଛି। ଯେତେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ବହି ପଢିଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ବ୍ୟାକ୍ ଟୁ ଆୱାର ନର୍ମାଲ ରୁଟିନ ଆମେ ଭୁଲି ଯାଉଛେ ଯେ we are not body, we are soul. ତ ଆମେ ସବୁବେଳେ ସେ ଶରୀର ପାଇଁ ହିଁ ତାର ତୃପ୍ତି ପାଇଁ ହିଁ ସବୁବେଳେ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଛେ and we are going away from what is our objective. ଯେମିତି ଠାକୁର ଆମକୁ ମାନେ ଠାକୁର ନିଜେ ତାଙ୍କର ଗୁରୁ ଏତେ କଷ୍ଟରେ ପାଇଛନ୍ତି ବଟ୍ ଆମେ ଏତେ ଆରାମରେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ପାଇଲେ ବଟ୍ ଆମେ ସେଇ ଲେଭେଲର କି ତାର କିଛି ବି ପରସେଣ୍ଟେଜ ବି ଆମେ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ଦେଇପାରୁନେ। ସେଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆମକୁ ସବୁବେଳେ ଭାବିବା ଦରକାର। Like कहते कि a ship doesn't sink because of the water around it, but it sinks because of the water that get inside it. So don't let what's happening around you get inside you. So ship ta jemti ki ame ba am mano and water ta hoje bhava sagar ba bisay sagar ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଯୋଉ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଆମେ ଆମ ଭିତରେ କ୍ଲିନ୍ ଅଛି ଆମ ନିର୍ମଳ ଅଛି ଆମର ସବୁ ଠିକ ଚାଲୁଛି ବଟ୍ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ସଂସାର ବାହାର ଜିନିଷ ପ୍ରତି ବେଶୀ ଆସକ୍ତି ହୋଇଛି ଆଣ୍ଡ ସେଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଭିତରକୁ ଆଣୁଛୁ ସେଇ ଟାଇମରେ ଠିକ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହଉଛି ଆଣ୍ଡ वी आर thinking like nothing. So ସବୁବେଳେ ଯେମିତି ଚେଷ୍ଟା ରହିବ କି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ କଥାଟା ଆମ ମାଇଣ୍ଡରେ ସବୁବେଳେ ରହୁ। ଆମର मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव टा ए संसार को कौन पाई आसीचे सेटा जेमती माइंड रे रहू आउ हमर फोकस टा सब बेले ठाकुरन को रहू एंड वी शुड ऑलवेज स्टे कनेक्टेड विथ हिम ऑल द टाइम। एति की कहि रहू छी। जय गुरु आज ठाकुरन सेकेंड सेशन शेष हेबाकू जाउची। एबे ठाकुरन को विश्राम गृह को निया जिवो आउ मध्याह्न को निवेदन करा जिवो तापरे भक्त माने प्रसाद पाइबे आउ तापरे ठाकुरन को आउ थरे संध्या बेले 6:30 बेले इवनिंग पूजा पाई निमंत्रण करछि। जय गुरु।
ପ୍ରତିସାର ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ ଅଛି। ପ୍ରତିସାର ପାଆନ୍ତୁ ନାହିଁ ସେ ମ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ ଥିବ।
जय गुरु। राजा ठाकुर महाराज समस्त भक्त भाई माँ मैंने पिला मैंने मोर प्रतिशर पाड़ी अच्छी आसंता रविवार सेप्टेम्बर 20 तारीख से प्रभु आपण को समस्त भक्त मान को निमंत्रण कर जोग दे सुजोग। जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। राजा ठाकुर महाराज समस्त भक्त भाई माँ और पिला बने आज पूजा रे मोर आउ सेवार थिबा भाई और माँ मानकर पिला मानकर जदि किछि भी भूल त्रुटि हो जाइछि सेति पई मु श्री ठाकुर को पाखरे और समस्त भक्त भाई और माँ मानक पाखरे क्षमा प्रार्थना करछि आउ ए भूलर पुनरावृत्ति न हेबा पई कृपा भिक्षा करछि। जय गुरु।
जय गुरु भाई। जय गुरु। सुना जाउछि ना भाई?
हाँ सुना।
देवे
সম্বল দেব কি দে জীব আমি কি আছি সম্বল এই দেহ তোমারি এই দেহ তোমারি গ্রহণ করিয়া কর জীবন সফল দেব গ্রহণ করিয়া কর জীবন সফল এই চরাচর বিশ্ব সকলই তোমার এই চরাচর বিশ্ব সকলই তোমার কি ধন তোমার দিব কি আছে আমার দেব কি ধন তোমার দিবি কি আছে আমার কি দেই পুজিবি তোমায় দিন দিন আমি কি দেই পুজিবি তোমায় দিন দিন আমি যে ধনে পুজিবি তোমায় সেই ধন তুমি দেব যে ধনে পুজিবি তোমায় সেই ধন তুমি আর কিছু নাই চাই এই নিবেদন 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 জন্মে জন্মে এই রূপে দাও দর্শন প্রভু জন্মে জন্মে এই রূপে দাও দর্শন প্রভু জন্মে জন্মে এই রূপে দাও দর্শন জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় 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 জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু